Hey, hello everyone. How are you all today? Today what we are going to do is we are going to start teaching aptitude, and this would be a revision session. So, all the people who do not know about this session, let me give you a brief. If you're preparing for NTA UGC NET examination or B.Ed examination, where teaching aptitude is a subject, this series would be really helpful to you. And the notes which I'm right now providing you, is specifically related to NET examinations or JRF examinations or SET examinations. I have specifically made them for these kind of examinations. The second thing is, if you need the notes, you're going to get the notes of total 7 units, I could say. I'll just list out the entire units. That is teaching aptitude, one second, research aptitude, communication, higher education, people and environment, ICT, logical reasoning or mathematical reasoning. Okay, so these are the 7 units you're going to get. These are complete theoretical units, apart from logical reasoning, and you're going to get the crisp notes. The notes will be available in Hindi as well as English, and along with, I'm giving you the explanation in Hindi as well as in English. So this entire series is completely in English, but I would be coming up with series in Hindi as well. Okay, so this series is completely entirely in English. If you want the notes, you can pay rupees 999 and get all these notes for teaching aptitude, research aptitude, communication, higher education, people environment, and logical reasoning, because these are the topics which are a bit difficult. And any person who just wants to revise everything, you have to get a comprehensive overview of the lecture, of the entire syllabus, and then if you watch this particular lecture or this particular notes, that would be highly helpful to you. So before, you can say, starting this lecture, I can give you a simple disclaimer. The disclaimer is that please complete your syllabus, then come to this platform, or else it would be very difficult for you to grasp everything. Okay, so let's start with today's topic would be teaching aptitude, and this teaching aptitude would be in certain parts. I could say 3 parts, not more than 3, but I'll try to concise and complete it in 3. But if I'm not able to complete it in 3 parts, I'll make one more part, fourth part, to complete the entire revision session of teaching aptitude. And if you have any doubts or any problems, you can always send me a message or comment in this particular video so that I can help you guys. Now let's start with today's video. Today's video is teaching aptitude, and we will be covering the basics of teaching, at least in this particular video. And if you want to get the notes, you can just WhatsApp me. I'll give you the WhatsApp number, that is 9265799867. So this is my WhatsApp number. You can WhatsApp me and ask me more details about this particular notes. I will be providing you everything, every detail there, how to make the payment, how to get the notes and everything. Okay, so let's get started. Now, teaching, like in this entire slide, what we are going to cover, okay, and what is as in the previous year question, teaching, the basics of teaching, like what is teaching, what are the concepts of teaching, and the basic requirements of teaching. These are the 3 concepts covered in this particular slide. The first thing is, what is teaching, or what is a teacher? Okay, teacher, of course, is a person, but when we talk about teaching is a process. Now try to understand, there is a word called system and process. Usually process is the part of the system. I'll just say it again. Process is the part of the system. So system includes process. And what is a process? Process is a step-by-step activity. So first you will complete the first step, then you will complete the second step, then you will complete the third step. So what is this happening? Step by step means it is going to take place one after another. So teaching is a process. It is a step-by-step process. If you see here, one second. Okay, Teaching is this one. Teaching is a process in which learner, teacher, and other variables are organized in a systematic way to attain a predetermined goal. So, teaching is what? Teaching is a process where the teacher, the student, and all other variables are combined together in a systematic way to achieve a predetermined goal. So, right now, if I take an example of right here, what is our objective? Your objective is to clear your NET examinations or your JRF examinations or your set examinations. My objective is to make you understand all these topics, to help you out with all the problems you have, and to solve any of your doubts. That is my objective. So we have a predetermined objective. I am a teacher right now, you are a student right now, and all these other variables like the YouTube, the notes, the video lecture, your comments, all these variables, the interaction between us are helping us in this teaching process. So, teaching is a process whereby a teacher, learner, and all other variables are organized in a systematic manner to attain a predetermined objective. So, this was very, very simple. Smith sir, one of this important thing is Smith sir states that teaching can be carried out without a teacher. So here it is clearly written that Smith sir has stated that teaching can be carried out without a teacher. How teaching can be carried out without a teacher? One simple example I could give you to explain this concept. You are a student, okay? You might have had lot of bad habits in your childhood, like some of your friends have told a bad word to someone and you might have learned it or something like that. So what is that? That is exactly, I could say, Smith sir states that teaching can be carried out without a teacher. Why it can be carried out? Because student or learner can learn with the observation alone. So by observing someone, by listening to someone, by supervising someone, you'll be able to learn new stuff. So you don't require a teacher. One of the examples I could also give, books. Books are the content, like it's you can say group of contents in a summarized manner or in a, you can say, systematic manner. They put it in the books and they publish it and they give it to you. So there is no teacher there, but you are able to read those books and learn new stuff. So there also the teacher element is missing, but still the teaching is taking place. So make sure you remember that because of all these things, teaching can be carried out without a teacher. So even if you don't have a teacher, you don't require a teacher. You can learn through observations, you can learn through reading, you can learn through listening to someone, all that things, okay? The next thing is concept of teaching. Concept is basically two, very, very simple: informal and formal. As we know, informal is usually related to friends, relatives, something very personal. So informal teaching is at the initial ages of a child, like when your parents will teach you how to use a spoon, how to use washroom, how to walk, how to talk to everyone, how to sit. All these things are basically informal teaching. So informal teaching includes your parents, your siblings, your friends, your relatives who help you during your during the time of need, okay? So that is called informal teaching, whereas formal teaching is something really like just right now or in your colleges or in your schools where there is a professional person, there is a person who's hired, who has the qualification and who is there only to teach you certain predetermined stuff. So that I could completely say that is what that is formal teaching. So the concept of teaching includes two: formal teaching, informal teaching. Formal teaching is carried out by specialized professionals or qualified professionals, say teachers, educators, faculty, assistant professors, by whatever name you call. Informal teaching is carried out by your parents, your siblings, your friends, your relatives, those who help you, okay, to learn something. The next one is basic requirements of teaching. This is also very easy. I would highly recommend you to read this, you can say, in a detailed manner, because they might ask certain questions from this. So the first thing is you need all these three variables. You need to remember who's the independent variable, who's the dependent variable, and who's the intervening variable. Independent variable is always considered as a teacher. I am a teacher, I will be considered as an independent variable. Why? Because it is my decision when I want to teach you guys, what I want to teach you guys. Okay, this is a YouTube platform. You can just argue with me or put a cross question. Okay, ma'am, if you were in a college, you had to come to the college at a particular time, you had to take lectures according to the administration or the management of the college they have said. I completely agree. But the way I teach, the examples I use, the content I use, I am independent. That is my choice, what I want to teach, how I want to teach, what methods I want to use, how will I manage my classroom. That is my choice. So here I am very much independent in my ways, in my methods, in my examples, mostly. Okay, so this is an independent variable. So teacher is always considered as an independent variable, whereas dependent variable, student will be considered as a dependent variable. Suppose you are studying in a school, university, or a college. So for entire 60 students or 30 students, there will be one particular teacher for one particular subject. If you don't understand the concepts given by that teacher, you don't have any other option. You either will go for a private coaching or something, you go for YouTube channel or online classes, but you don't have any other option. You're dependent on that teacher to learn stuff. So here dependent variable is always a student. So I'll just write it down. If you need, you can also mention it in your books if you want. Dependent variable is always a student, whereas independent variable is always a teacher. Intervening variable is the interaction, the communication, the methods used, the everything between the teacher and the student will be an intervening variable. It could be your communication, it can be a syllabus, it can be your topics, it can be methods of teaching, various things, the classroom environment. Okay, professionalism, this is also very much required. So if I'm not professional enough, I don't come on time, I don't, you can say, take topics accordingly, then I'm not professional. So teacher is required to be professional. Teacher is someone who's actually taking fees, who's doing the work. So teacher is expected to be a professional person who understands that how to do the work, how to give lectures to the students and everything. So this is a professional activity. Whereas suitable environment hereby refers to that like right now you might be sitting in your room, you might be watching this video, you might be jotting down the points and everything. So you have a suitable environment. Suppose there is like a DJ going on in your just the roadside of your house, or there is very much noises around you or disturbance around you, you'll not be able to study properly. So for learning purposes and for teaching purposes, you need a suitable environment. You need a calm, peaceful environment where you will be able to communicate what you want to say and the other person will understand what he is trying to understand. Okay, the next one is teacher and student relationship. This is one of the very, very good points. I would say just write it down what I am writing here in the screen, because this is very, very important. So first, teacher will act as a leader for the student. So teacher will represent itself as a leader or a role model, I could say. Now after leader, suppose there is a question asked in your examination, like what should be the relationship between a teacher and a student. Okay, the options are given. For example, A is a parent, B is a guide, C is a father, and D is a friend. So sorry for the bad handwriting. Okay, so these are the options given. Now when you just see this, you'll have a question that Aditi ma'am said that a relationship between the teacher and the student should be of a leader. Leader is not given, then what we need to do? You need to understand that you have to set priorities. Now what do we understand by priorities here, which is very, very important? Whatever options are given, you have to choose the most appropriate answer. So because we don't have a leader in this option, the second best option would be a parent. No, not parent, guide. It should be guide. I'm really sorry. Guide or philosopher, as you can say. If option is missing, there is no option of guide in the examination, then you can go for parent, and they'll not ask for specific father or mother, so that doesn't count. You can just consider parent, and the last one is friend. So these are the you can say priorities you need to remember, or these are the levels, I could also say. Not levels would not be the right word, but okay, Teacher will act as a leader for the student, but in your examination, in your question, if the leader is missing, you can always opt for guide or philosopher. That is also missing, you can go for parent, and that is also missing, then you will answer as friend. So you have to remember this sequence. This is a very important sequence. Suppose there is a question, you can easily answer now, because the relationship between a teacher and a student, of which the teacher will act as a leader, the teacher will act as a guide, the teacher will act as a parent, or the teacher will act as a friend. So this is the entire sequence. Let's move forward. So all the three variables: professionalism is required, suitable environment is required, teacher and student relationship, as we just discussed right now. Student discipline, yes, there should be a student discipline. Like, if you are expecting a teacher to teach properly, you will expect a student to learn properly. So discipline with the student is also required. Like, is the student regularly coming to the class or not, completing his homework or not? This is also one of the basic requirements. The next one is teacher's devotion towards teaching. I think you might not be able to see because it is behind my back, but please download the notes, purchase the notes, so that you will be able to understand this better. And I would request, if you have purchased the notes, print it out and write down the keywords, jot down the keywords. This will help you in your examination. This will help you to retain the facts. I'm really telling you, if you want my suggestion, I would give you only one simple suggestion. Purchase this notes. After purchasing, go to your you can say photocopy person, or the person who does print out in your locality. Just give them the PDF and tell them, I need A4 size papers, and I need it the printout, and just take a spiral of all the subjects together. When you just sit down while listening to these lectures, just use a pencil and jot down the keywords. Keywords are actually required, specifically required. Keywords will help you to crack your examination, to crack the difficult questions, the most difficult questions. So this will help you a lot. Next one, teacher's devotion towards teaching. Like, I should be devoted towards teaching. I should be able to help the students. If there are doubts, I should be able to, you can say, solve their problems and everything. Student devotion towards teaching. So if I am devoted enough, I need the devotion of students as well. If I'm working hard, if I'm solving the doubts, I would require the same devotion, the same commitment from the students, that they complete their homework on time, they complete the task which is given to them, and they are very much interested in their lectures. So this all things are required for an effective teaching. If these all things are missing, then the teaching cannot be effective. Moving towards the next topic, or next point, I could say. Okay. Now we have characteristics of teaching and basic requirements of teaching. So basic requirements of teaching we have done: independent variable, dependent variable, and intervening variable. These are the details of those. So dependent variable is always the teacher. Dependent variable is always the student. Independent variable is always the teacher, and intervening variable is the level of interaction. Okay, levels will be doing in the next slide, but right now in this particular slide we will be trying to complete the characteristics of teaching. Okay, so characteristics of teaching. Characteristics of teaching means in Hindi we call it visheshtaएं. You can also call it as a features. Okay, so when you buy a phone, you ask for it, its features, like what kind of camera it has, what is the level of RAM, and what is the internal memory. So what is this? These is the extra information you're trying to ask about that particular mobile phone. So here, regarding teaching, what are the extra information that you can get? What is extra information you need to know? So these are the extra information which you know would be better. Okay, so first is, it is a system of action. System, I told you in the first slide itself, system includes process. So it is a system, it is an entire system which includes various processes. So it is a system of action. That is our first point you need to remember. The second is, it is a professional activity. We have done this in the basic requirements also, so I don't think I need to repeat it. It is subject to analysis and assessment. Very important. Every teacher has to analyze, and even the administration department or the management will analyze their performance. So whatever the teacher is doing, a teacher can analyze the results. Like, if I was able to teach you properly, you'll be able to crack the examination. If I'm able to make sense to you, you'll be able to understand this concept. So this is what I'm able to analyze what I'm doing. I'm able to assess that I'm doing in the right way, or I'm doing the right thing or not. So that is, you can say, subject to analysis and assessment. The next one is it is an interactive process. Interactive means, I could say, it is a two-way process. Two-way process means I am saying something to you, you are saying something to me. We are able to communicate to each other. So this is an interactive process. Interactive is always known as two-way. You can write it down. It is a two-way process. The next one is, it is a specialized task. What do we mean by specialized task? A person who has the knowledge, who has the experience, and who understands how these things are done, that is called a specialized task or a specialized person. So a person who has a speciality on this would be a better person to do this particular task, who has experience, prior experience. It is collection of various modes. Yes, we have various methods of teaching. We have large group teaching method, small group teaching method, individualized teaching method, teacher centric methods, learner centric methods, online methods, offline methods, various. So that we are going to discuss in the future lectures. The next one is, it takes place in dynamic environment. Make sure you remember the word dynamic. Dynamic means keeps on changing, which is not same. It's completely different in the next stage, and then it might be more different in the more coming stage. So why teaching is completely different? I'll give you one of the simple examples. When in the starting, like in the beginning of the period, when teaching used to take place in India, we had gurukuls. Okay, and in gurukuls there were gurus and shishya. That was the system there. And guru were considered like next to god, because they were considered like the most gyani persons, the most scholared persons, and whatever they say would be true. But after a point of time, like this, when the modern education came, the schools came, now we have a classroom setting, more of a classroom setting, where there are benches. In gurukul, the shishya, all the students, we used to sit on the floor. But right now you have classrooms, proper classrooms, where we have tables and chairs and all the furniture, and some of the schools, they even have air conditioners to make the students comfortable. And if I talk about today's, like as of today, the latest one, uh, we have online classrooms like an academy, byju's, and various others, where the student can sit at the comfort of their home and in their room easily, and they will be able to understand the topics. So this is what happened. Teaching has changed from time to time. The entire procedure, the entire way, or the entire method of teaching has completely drastically changed. So this is a dynamic process. So coming in future, we don't know how teaching would look like. We cannot even imagine how teaching could be looking like. So this is what dynamic means, which keeps on changing. You can note down the keyword here. So this is the word. The next one is, it is an art as well as science. Yes, it is an art as well as science. This is also one of the important topics which I love to teach. Many of the students, they don't understand the difference between art and science. Art is a complete different subject, science is a complete different subject. So suppose if you don't know this, just comment so that I can explain you in a different video or something, because it is going to take time. If you know this difference, that's very very good. But if you don't know the difference, that what is exactly an art, what is exactly a science, how these two are related to teaching, you just mention in the comment section. I'll help you out in this. Okay, next one. It is closely related to education, learning, instruction, and training. Very very important, very very correct, I could say. Teaching leads to education, teaching leads to instructions. So all these things are actually related to each other, but not similar to each other. I cannot say teaching is education, that would be wrong. I could not say teaching is training, that is also completely wrong. So though they are exactly related to each other, they are not similar, they're completely different. So teaching is different from instruction, conditioning, indoctrination. We will be learning this in the future lectures, don't worry about it. But make sure you remember that these are closely related concepts to each other. The next one is, it tends to self-organization. Here self-organization means when once you organize yourself or you organize your thoughts. So teaching helps you in that. Teaching helps you to understand like what has started, how it has started, and how it is going. So to understand all these concepts, teaching is very very required. The next is it is a social service. Yes, it is a social service because it helps you to provide good human beings, good citizens to the society. So if there is a teacher who's teaching in the right manner, who's giving good guidance to the student, that would lead to responsible citizens into the society. So this is actually a social service if you're doing it in a right manner. So this is a social service. It is a continuous process. Yes, teaching is something which is not going to end. So is learning. I could give you a simple example to make my point. In school you used to learn, in college you used to learn, in university you used to learn. In the same way, when you're doing job, you're learning new things, you're learning new skill. You can learn a soft skill or any kind of skill in your job. After the job, at home also you learn various things. You learn about your relationships, you learn about your people, you learn about the environment near you. So learning is something which is taking place every day. This is very very serious. In the same way, if learning is taking place, of course teaching would be taking place. So teaching is a continuous process. It is not going to end like tomorrow or day after tomorrow, after 1 year or 2 year. It's not going to happen. So teaching is a very you can say lengthy and continuous process. It's not going to end. The next is it is has high degree of autonomy. Please try to understand, autonomy here means freedom or independence, I could say. Okay. What do we understand by the term freedom? Freedom here means you have a level of control over things. You have freedom of what you want to do. So teaching includes that because I have the freedom. Like I want to teach like this, I'll teach like this. I don't want to teach like that, I won't teach like that. I want to use this particular content, I'll use this content. Don't want to use that content, I will not use that content. So what is this going on? This is basically I'm trying to achieve. I'm trying to, you can say, I have the freedom to do what I like. That is teaching. Teaching has a level of freedom where you can actually choose what you want to do. The next is it includes lengthy period of study and training. Of course, if I know all these concepts which I'm teaching today, only because I've gone through this, I have given this examination, I was able to clear this examination, I read myself, I've gone through various books, and only after that I was able to understand that yes, this is what I'm going to do, or this is how it's going to happen. So that is you can say teaching includes lengthy period of study and training. And the last is it is essentially an intellectual activity. It is a mind related activity. It is not a physical task that somebody is going to do and you're going to understand, or you're going to actually see the transfer happening. This is just a mental task. What I have learned, what I have understood, I'm trying the same with you. I'm trying to make you understand the same topic. So this is morely of an intellectual activity. It is not a physical activity. It is not a physical task that is going to happen. Okay, so that's it for today. So we have done two, you can say, videos or two slides, I could say. So we have done these two slides, and in the next coming video we would be doing more things, and I'll be trying to complete this entire thing in 4 videos. I'm now doubtful, but yes, I'll definitely try for the same. If you have any more doubts or any more problems, please do let me know. I would love to help you guys. And if you like this video, or if there are certain changes you want in this particular video or in any of videos of mine, just comment so that I'll read those comments. I'll come to know my problems, and I'll come to know the problems you have, and then I'll be able to solve the same. So make sure you contribute that much. Take good care of yourself. Study hard, everyone. Bye.